This is a News 3 Now special report.
Thanks for watching the special report from Channel 3000.
Let's get you caught up on the latest coronavirus headlines. Governor Tony Evers says the time is now for state lawmakers to ensure a safe election amid the pandemic.
If, as elected officials, we're going to expect the people of our state to make sacrifices to keep all of us safe, then, by golly, we better be willing to do our part too. So today I announce that I am calling the legislature into special session to do its part, just as all of us are, to help keep our neighbors, our families, and our communities safe.
Governor has called for lawmakers to meet in special session tomorrow. He told them to take up legislation that would move to an all mail-in election and change deadlines for receiving ballots to May 26. Speaker Robin Vos, Senate Majority Leader Scott Fitzgerald released a response statement this afternoon. They write, "It's disappointing the governor has, quote, flip-flopped on the issue and that, quote, our republic must continue to function and the many local government positions on the ballot must be filled so municipalities can swiftly respond to the crisis at hand. We continue to support what Governor Evers has been saying for weeks. The election should continue as planned on Tuesday."
Today, we asked an expert at UW Health about the risk of holding an in-person election right now.
The election would need to abide by the same social distancing rules that we are really trying to educate people about as they go to the grocery store and other places. So this idea that you have strict adherence to hand washing, really strict adherence to that 6-foot distance between you and the next person, and the idea that if you feel at all ill, going to the polls would be a really bad decision.
15 states have postponed their primaries due to the coronavirus. Senator Bernie Sanders has called on Wisconsin to postpone the primary, saying, quote, people should not be forced to put their lives on the line to vote. Biden has not called on Wisconsin to delay voting, but his campaign did put out a statement this week calling on voters to follow social distancing guidelines.
Healthcare professionals in Manhattan held up photos today of fellow workers who have fallen to coronavirus, one of many protests nationwide demanding more protective equipment. The situation so dire, the temporary field hospital set up at Manhattan's Javits Center will now treat COVID-19 patients. Meanwhile, Louisiana, one of a handful of states with more than 10,000 confirmed cases now, many of them in New Orleans. The state says it is trying to get more ventilators.
We've got 150 from the national stockpile. We appreciate that. Nowhere near the number that we're ultimately going to need, however.
In Florida, 2 Holland America cruise ships have now docked at Port Everglades. More than a dozen passengers who needed immediate medical assistance were already transferred to nearby hospitals. Passengers cleared for travel started taking charter flights back to their homes.
President Trump invoked the Defense Production Act against 3M, demanding the company stop exporting N95 respirator masks. 3M pushed back in a statement saying the order could have significant humanitarian implications and that other countries could be compelled to retaliate. Meanwhile, a major component of the Phase 3 stimulus bill hit a few bumps as it went online today. The $350 billion Paycheck Protection Program to help small business owners and their employees weather the fallout from the pandemic. But some major banks say they need more federal guidance before processing loan applications.
For heaven's sakes, we're in constant touch with these banks. So I'll look into it myself. They know how important this is, and they know it's guaranteed.
The Treasury says the first direct payments to Americans will begin in 2 weeks.
CDC now recommending that everyone wear a simple cloth face mask while out in public. We asked the UW Health doctor why these guidelines are changing, since the CDC and the World Health Organization said earlier that people who are healthy shouldn't need to wear a mask. UW Health doctor, Dr. Jeff Potoff, says 2 things have changed our understanding of the virus. We now know there's a much higher number of people who have COVID-19 but don't show any symptoms. Second, we used to think it would take a cough or sneeze to transfer the virus, but new research shows even talking likely generates enough contaminants to people nearby. Dr. Potoff says if you're going out to the grocery store, along with social distancing and good hand washing, wearing a cloth mask does offer some, but not complete protection. Trader Joe's on Monroe Street in Madison temporarily closing for some cleaning after a crew member tested positive. According to a Facebook post from Monroe Street, Madison, the store is being thoroughly cleaned and restocked. That crew member who tested positive was last in the store on Monday. The Facebook post says they're hoping to reopen by Sunday.
A local treatment facility is asking for the community's help so they can continue saving lives. Tellurian says right now can be a triggering moment for those who are using substances, getting treatment, or are in recovery. They haven't had to cut their services or lay off staff members yet, but say they need your help to stay that way, especially as more people are seeking their help right now.
We need medical supplies just like any other healthcare facility. So are making a plea for financial support, because so many people that have mental health and addiction issues, and then with people losing their jobs now on top of that, they don't have the funds and the availability to pay for the help that they need.
If you would like to donate money or medical supplies, you can call 608-222-7311 or donate on their website at tellurian.org.
Continuing coverage now, we told you yesterday about dairy farmers being forced to dump milk due to school and restaurant closures, plus issues with processing plants that aren't able to package milk for retail instead. Today, U.S. Senator Tammy Baldwin and other Wisconsin lawmakers are calling on the USDA to take immediate action on behalf of Wisconsin dairy farmers and dairy processors. Their letter to USDA Secretary Sonny Perdue says, quote, coronavirus-related changes in consumer purchasing have caused rapid shifts in demand. While these changes in consumer demand are temporary, without immediate action, they could have a permanent effect in causing the closure of hundreds and possibly thousands of farms, rural businesses, and food processors.